Gentlemen, my recent trip to Patatya has unfortunately been marred by a nasty case of proctitis and a urinary tract infection which came about due to an anal fissure. These conditions caused me the most pain, inconvenience and worry that I've ever experienced in my entire 34 years of life. I warn you, this video may be too graphic for some of you. It's important, however, because if I can just help one ladyboy lover avoid my fate, then it will have been worthwhile spending the time creating this video. Proctitis, an inflammation of the anus and the lining of the rectum, affecting the last 6 inches of the rectum. Anal fissure, a tear or split in the lining of the anus. Urinary tract infection, an infection that affects part of the urinary tract. Before I start, I would like to make it known that of all the risk factors that I had in my spreadsheets regarding avoiding HIV, STDs, etc. when dealing with ladyboys, I did not even fathom that I was at high risk of proctitis and an anal fissure due to my lifestyle of engaging in receptive anal sex with ladyboys in Patatya. I had absolutely no idea how incredibly painful and debilitating proctitis and an anal fissure could be, and how much it could seriously, negatively affect a man's quality of life and ruin a holiday. And I'm creating this video so that my ladyboy-loving peers may avoid my painful fate by engaging in risk minimization strategies, together with ensuring that you have all the medication you will require should you go through a nasty experience similar to mine. There are 3 possible theories to what caused my proctitis and anal fissure. Number 1, the pretender's theory 1. Hard receptive anal sex with a 25-year-old ladyboy who had a larger than average penis for a tie which was twisted when erect on my first night in Patatya, which led to a tear in the anus, an anal fissure, which led to proctitis, which led to a bacterial infection, which led to a month of agony. Number 2, the pretender's theory 2. A ladyboy's long and possibly dirty fingernail caused a small cut in my anus, which led to proctitis, which led to a bacterial infection, which led to a month of agony. Number 3, the pretender's doctor's theory. A drastic and sudden change from my bodybuilding diet led to constipation, which led to the passing of hard stools, which led to an anal fissure, which led to proctitis, which led to a bacterial infection, which led to a month of agony. The most plausible theory, in my opinion, as to the cause of my incredibly painful episode of proctitis with an anal fissure is either my first or second theory, with me leaning towards my first theory. Hard receptive anal sex with a ladyboy causing a tear in my anus. I've ruled out my doctor's theory, as I don't recall being constipated nor passing a hard stool. I was open and honest with my doctor about my lifestyle in Patatya as well, yet he still thought that it was most likely caused by constipation and a hard stool causing a tear in the anus. I'd like to talk about my symptoms, which started on the evening of the 28th of November. I started to feel very sick and I went to bed early at 8:30 p.m, which there was not much point in doing because of the Patatya Fireworks Festival, which went on until after 11 p.m. and kept me wide awake due to the noise. My first symptom was a high temperature and fever, together with a feeling of being very cold, with my teeth chattering, and unusually for me, an enlarged left lymph node in my groin, which I'd never in my life ever felt enlarged. I took some paracetamol for this and thought that I had possibly just caught a bug of some kind and would be okay in the morning. In the morning, I woke up and felt okay really, and I went out that night and stayed out until after 1 a.m. at Sensations Bar in Action Street. The next day I rested and felt generally okay, so I went out again that night. I had some problems with pain in the anal area, which I mentioned to a ladyboy I had spent time with earlier on my trip, and I told her that it was a no-go area from now on. To my complete surprise, she opened her handbag and gave me something called Sherry Proct and told me to use it on my anus and that it would help relieve the pain and irritation I was experiencing. I used the product and it was okay, but not great. The Ladyboy told me of another product, which was a local cream anaesthetic called lidocaine, which was better, and that I should definitely buy it. I took a mental note of this, given the pain that I was in. The next day I started having incredible pain and suffering when defecating, straining to get anything out, and I could not urinate. And I was starting to get more body aches and muscle pains, and was in all sorts of trouble. I decided to get an early night, but woke up the next day feeling even worse, so I decided to go to the hospital. The doctor checked me out and recommended I go to another hospital. I didn't want to do this, as I'd already wasted 3 hours at this hospital. The doctor didn't even give me anything for the pain or for the infection. I'm not even going to begin getting into the waste of time that visit to that brand new hospital in Soboakal was for me. Anyway, that useless hospital visit irritated me, so I went back to my hotel and researched my symptoms and came to the self-diagnosis, which I know you shouldn't do, but I was desperate, that I had an anal fissure and proctitis, together with a very nasty bacterial and urinary tract infection. The solution to the infection was to take some antibiotics called ciprofloxacin. The muscle aches could be helped with Voltaren and ibuprofen. I walked into a chemist and bought the Voltaren and ibuprofen, and I was given the lidocaine for free because the pharmacist told me it had already been opened and she could not sell it to me and had no other in stock. I thought to myself how ridiculous the situation was and how that would never happen back in the West. I was happy to get it for free, but I would have paid a lot for it regardless because I was in such pain. So I start taking the antibiotics, which really helped me very quickly within a day. I could now urinate again, which was a relief. I still had pain when defecating, but not as bad as before. I actually felt somewhat happy despite still being in pain. At least I wasn't in the kind of pain that a man needs to be in to go to the hospital like I did the previous day. The antibiotics must have cleared up the bacterial infection. The next day I was still not feeling well and had very painful muscles, a very sore back, pain on defecating, and an overall sick and nauseous feeling. I struggled on and got an early night. The day after I woke up in incredible pain. I was in absolute despair and felt like I would never get better. I kept thinking, how long is it going to take me to get over this? I was popping the antibiotics, Voltaren and ibuprofen constantly, and I was bleeding profusely when defecating. As the night approached, however, I started feeling a bit better, so I went out. The next day, however, the muscle aches and pain continued, but the pain on the toilet was not as bad, and I thought that I was on the mend at last. The next few days were similar, and I still felt unwell. It had been a full 7 days since I had exercised. I've never gone more than 3 days without running or lifting weights in the past few years. This condition had destroyed my health and fitness. My sickness log ends at this point because, by all accounts, the indication was that my computer hard drive had crashed, which caused me utter and complete despair. My backup was at home and I could not restore the hard drive nor even reload the operating system as I did not have the DVDs, and the DVD drive on the computer was broken anyway. It was the 10th of December at this point, and I still had another 7 days in Thailand to go. For this time, I basically kept taking the antibiotics, ibuprofen and Voltaren, and this made my condition manageable, but still very irritating. Fast forward to the 17th of December. It was time for me to fly home, but I'm still very sick. I had incredible constipation and had not defecated for 2 days, and try all I might, I could not get anything out. I woke up at 2 a.m. and made my way to Bangkok airport for an early morning flight, and boarded the plane, and the entire 9-hour trip home I could not defecate. I was okay urinating, however, but it was painful with a burning sensation. It took until I got home before I could defecate, and it was minimal. Between the 18th of December to the 25th of December, it's still been going on. It's been almost 1 whole month now. I'm still taking ibuprofen and Voltaren together now with laxatives, Coloxil and antihistamines. I needed the antihistamines, the pharmacist at home said, because after stopping the antibiotics, I had some kind of allergic reaction, which has caused intense itching all over my body, especially at night when I'm trying to sleep. I've never felt anything like it and it's caused me issues sleeping. The itching is slightly better for each day I've stopped the antibiotics and is better right after taking an antihistamine. My sleep is also all over the place, which is very unusual for me and a sign that my body is just not right. But I'm thankful that I no longer bleed when defecating and that I can actually defecate okay. I still have a slight fever, lethargy and muscle aches, which are not anywhere near as bad as before and are manageable, but I'm still popping ibuprofen and Voltaren constantly throughout the day. I've been able to get some exercise and back to my morning and afternoon running together with lifting weights, but it's a struggle and my energy levels and fitness has taken an absolute beating. My left groin lymph node has gone back down but is still not completely back to normal. My symptoms in aggregate: bloody stools, tingling, tickling or itching sensation in my anus, very enlarged left groin lymph node, incredible excruciating pain when defecating, pain to the point that I was gripping the toilet wall or placing a towel in my mouth and screaming in agony, rectal bleeding with lots of blood in the toilet bowl, including dripping blood from my anus, high fever and chills, chattering teeth, feeling of being too cold mostly or sometimes too hot, inability to urinate unless attempting to defecate, which would bring on urination, inability to defecate, constipation, night sweats and wet pillow when back home, straining to empty my bowels, a feeling of not having emptied my bowels, cramping and spasms during bowel movements, yellow mucus and pus when wiping my anus, poor sleep when back home, which did not occur in Patatya, so I'm guessing it may be related to some jet lag, incredible all-over body itching, incredible itching of the anus, inability to exercise due to all-over body weakness, lethargy, and all-over muscle aches and pains, incredible lethargy, burning pain when urinating, painful ejaculations with yellow-coloured ejaculate together with burning pain, a real dampener considering this is Patatya. Who cares if it happened back in boring Australia where I live in voluntary celibacy without a partner for 11 months of the year? Important lessons that I've learnt from this terrible and unfortunate experience that some would say God brought about because he hates my lifestyle, and me personally, of course. Engaging in receptive anal sex with a condom with ladyboys or getting a fingernail too close to the anus can cause a tear in the anus, which can cause a nasty infection, which can completely ruin your entire holiday. As such, I've reconsidered engaging in receptive anal sex with new ladyboy partners, and I will only engage in this practice with ladyboys who are known to me and that I trust. We use plenty of lubricant and will take my time and take it slowly. No rough anal sex, and certainly not with new ladyboy partners. I'll also not allow a ladyboy's fingernail anywhere near my anus ever again. Other lessons. Do not leave home without Metamucil, a fibre supplement which I couldn't find in the Western supermarket near my hotel and didn't want to go hunting for all over town. Do not leave home without laxatives. Do not leave home without lubricant. I didn't, but I thought I would mention it. Lubricant was somewhat useful on several occasions when attempting to pass stools and to help the fissure to heal without bleeding again. Do not leave home without a local anaesthetic cream. Do not leave home without Sherry Proct, Voltaren. And Voltaren is expensive in Thailand, I thought. Do not leave home without ibuprofen or without stool softeners, Coloxal. Do not leave home without antihistamines. And certainly do not leave home without travel insurance. That was really stupid of me. Talk with a doctor here about taking a broad-based antibiotic with me that will clear up a general bacterial infection without me having to stuff around researching and self-diagnosing online and walking into Thai chemists to buy antibiotics. Buy a second solid-state hard drive and clone it on a regular basis. Take this clone with me with my laptop when travelling. Take my laptop screwdrivers as well, and if the hard drive fails, just pop in the clone. If the hard drive ribbon connector fails, which was the actual cause of my problem it turns out, and not a hard drive crash, then I can buy this at the Apple Store in Central Festival Plaza. Take USB keys with the Apple operating system on them and disk warrior on another USB key so I can at least get up and running again and work around my broken DVD drive. Anyway, that is my tale of woe, gentlemen. It's a bad one, and proctitis, anal fissures and urinary tract infections are something I never considered as conditions I could get, nor listed as risk factors for my Patatya lifestyle. Conditions I now consider to be a serious risk with serious and painful consequences when engaging with ladyboys and Patatya. When my ladyboy friend opened her handbag and gave me sherry proct, it made me think that anal conditions must be very common, or else why was she carrying such a product on her person? I expect that this video may pique the interests of ladyboy lovers who may email me to share similar experiences of woe. I'm happy to hear from you, gentlemen. There will be some who say that I deserved this for being stupid or for going against God's wishes and so on. My late father always said to me, "Son, if you lay down with dogs, you'll get up with fleas. Son, that AIDS is a death sentence. Son, even if you don't go looking for trouble, trouble will find you one day." I could go on, but I won't. Important lessons learned, gentlemen. Learn the hard way as well, and this is an important video that I had to make for your benefit. The spreadsheet of risk factors has been carefully amended. May you be wise men and learn from the misfortunes of the pretender, whose ego has been seriously bruised and has been humbled by how easily even a very fit and healthy human body like his can be broken and reduced to a shivering and aching mess by a small tear in the anus. Rest assured, I will crawl my way back to health and fitness until I'm back to sprinting up hills again and lifting very heavy weights. Let me promise you this, I'll be back in Patatya come hell or high water, fit, lean, muscular and healthy, ready for my next engagements with the Patatya Ladyboys, this time next year. Take it to the bank, gentlemen. All the best.